My father was beaten with chains when he was a child. I mean, literal steel chains. He had never been able to process anything about it. So all of that pain, all of that aggression was passed over to the next generation, which was us. And not being able to process things, I feel like number one, that is probably the biggest demon that we have to face. And that is we don't admit that they're there. It's like an alcoholic. When I hear alcoholics speak, they say one of the freeing moments is them saying, "Hello, I'm Joe," or "I'm John, and I'm an alcoholic." They owe up to that. You cannot fight a problem. You cannot deal with a problem unless you recognize the problem is there. And, too many people live in the state of denial, and I'm not talking about the river. Okay. Okay, that was cheap humor. Okay. But the demons, when you're brought up in a broken home and things are not as solid or concrete, number one, your foundation is a little bit shaken. Who am I? That's an incredible demon. Think about the number of people. Well, if you remember, and you've got a couple of gray hairs, you may remember with me, but the kid at that time, he's a grown-up man now, that because of, he says, reading The Catcher in the Rye, he shot John Lennon. Why? He wanted an identity. Hey, I did this. I went down in history. Unless you know who you are, you're very lost in this life. Likewise, at the same point, we are fed so much crap, whatever you want to call it, from everything from TV ads to celebrities endorsing this and that and everything else. Young people are being told from every direction that this will make you somebody, or this will make you somebody, or this will make you somebody. You know what? I'm 57. I had to think about that. I'm 57. And I don't want to go back to being a teenager in today's time. But identity, your purpose, how to achieve it. What is really success? What is really happiness? Does that mean you just didn't get in a fight today? I mean, when you think about it, and all these, they're like little demons that you're fighting inside your soul. I think it'd drive anybody to being crazy. I mean, it would drive anybody to be crazy, really. It would drive me to be crazy. And so, just for us opening up, I think you talk about demons, those were demons that I dealt with. And I hope that kind of answers the question.
It does. It does. And there's a point where you mentioned success and happiness. And I just finished having a conversation with my friends maybe an hour ago about this. And I was
Wow.
telling her that is your happiness defined by what others can do for you? Or is your happiness defined on what you can do for yourself? And she sat back and she was like, I was like, exactly. We are shown that we get a relationship to complete us. It is the end of that journey. But I told her, look at it as the beginning of a new one. You see, when you get married, and this is where probably going to catch a little bit of heat, so I do apologize to the women in advance. There's many people who would say that women view marriage as the end. I got married, I'm complete, I'm going to have my child, and I'm going to ride off into the sunset. My husband and I, fantastic life. Dog named Sparky, white picket fence, and we're golden, the American dream.
Hmm.
Now, there's some men that will look at it, or some people that will look at it and say that I got married. Now it's time to build. What are you building? The family crest, the family legacy, right? Because if you
Hmm.
take it back to traditional roles, men are usually the builder and women are the nurturer, right? The man will build a home, the woman will grow it. It's two
Right.
different perspectives, right? So the reason why I pointed this out to her, I was letting her know that as I got older in age, I wanted someone to spend good times with, big smiles with, and create memories. Everything else is secondary. Right? And that's what I always want. And I think growing up, similar to you, where I didn't have the foundation that maybe was ideal for a productive child. I grew up in a broken home. I didn't know my parents
Hmm.
until I was 5 years old.
Okay.
And I struggled quite a bit because my grandmother did everything that she could for me. And she was very good at masking some of the pain. But once you separate from your grandma, then you realize, wait a minute, why are the other kids' parents, why don't they look as old as my parent? Why are they more mobile? Why are they more active? So that was a demon that I began to challenge myself with. And for you, when you mentioned the success, the happiness, how can we as an individual person find that in your opinion?
Okay, I'm glad you said in my opinion. You know, I am a Christian, but in the same respect, I'm not someone that Bible thumps somebody. You know what I mean? Okay? And so all I can do is talk about my story, the things that happened to me that I just could not ignore. Now, we're saying a lot of the same stuff. What I found out that I needed, and you can tell me how you feel about this, is that you cannot find anything really. You cannot build a house, you cannot do anything without a foundation.